Hello. Oh, I was muted. Okay, I guess I'm live now. I would like to confirm with any other person on the call. If you can hear me, just type into the private chat to let me know that you're live. You're hearing me. Okay. So welcome to this week's program. It promises to be quite interesting. Um, the topic, as we've tried to spread it around, I will just remind us of the topic. So the topic for discussion is promiscuous lifestyle, do STDs. So we have some guests today who have volunteered to join us. Currently with us is Dr. Daniel Adebulu, a gynecologist in training in FMC Asaba, and I'm sure experience to the discussion. Let me arrange so that it shows everybody.
Just go ahead. Yeah.
Hi Daniel, can you hear me? Just type in the box, let me know that you're hearing me. Just waiting for everybody to load up. Okay. So, like I was saying, the topic for today is promiscuous lifestyle. Do STDs still exist? Currently, we have myself, Tunde Gold available, and then we have a guest with us, Dr. Daniel. I've already introduced him. We're happy him here with his wealth of knowledge and experience. We'll be hoping to have a few other persons. We'll first start by introducing the topic. Um, so, why are we discussing this topic? So, in the current world that we live in, we find that a lot of persons um, now feel that promiscuity is not a big deal, and we find that seen by the media, especially the social media, which tends to promote this kind of lifestyle. And we have nothing against this. We are not discussing the moral aspect of this issue, but we are addressing the sexual health aspect of it to see how it affects people's sexual health and why people should have a rethink. While we have more panelists coming, I would introduce them. So we'll start by asking, why do we think this topic is relevant? So any of my panelists may want to tell us they think it's relevant. You can unmute and talk.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, Doctor Tumi? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor Tumi? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me, Doctor Tumi? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor Tumi? You cannot hear me. Can you hear me, Doctor Tumi?
I can hear you. Just you, I can hear you.
I've been asking you for
I
a
can
long while.
hear you. Continue, I can hear you.
Okay. So we are a five-man team tonight. Um, we are still expecting others to join us, and but we can't. We're keeping our audience waiting. So to the meat of the day, which is promiscuous lifestyle, and if we still believe that STDs still exist. Okay. The topic is essential because, like we all say in the local balance, that health is wealth, right? So this means that for us to um, live the kind of life we want to live, um, for us to fulfill our goals and objectives and fulfill destiny, as some will say, is at the heart of this is for us to be healthy. And so it is never an over, we can never overemphasize anything that relates to our health. And because in this dispensation, um, in this age and time, promiscuity and sexual related diseases is further enhanced by what we consume on the social media. So it builds on us, and it is very necessary um, for us to make this a discussion for the day. So this topic is essential because it will help to shaping some kind of narrative and some kind of ideologies many people have had in time past that has kind of affected their health in some way. So it is essential for us to discuss this because whether we like it or yes, uh, like I said in the introduction, that health is wealth, and the core of everything in life is about relationship. And the media these days makes it difficult for people to to have a healthy mindset. It's the media these days, by what we consume on the media, it makes it difficult for many people who are very gullible and who do not have a mind of their own to have a healthy mindset. So many people just live a life and they do not know that they are living a life of promiscuity already. And that promiscuity is the bedrock for um, the sexual related diseases that we are talking about tonight. And so tonight will be very helpful for many people who are already tuned or who already have this mindset that will lead them to destruction, or who are already in that circle and they do not know what to do. Good 18 for us tonight. We're having professionals on this call. We're about six of us, and we have um, three that are physicians, and some will be joining us much later, maybe the network, and they'll be able to help us to see things that will help our listener tonight in the areas of their sexual health. So I enjoyed every one of us to sit tight, and if you need to share the live to people you feel will need it, share it to all your friends, and you'll be doing us a great deal. Thank you. Topic is the same because it will help to shaping the narrative in some kind
Thank
of
you very much for that.
maybe
I will
our
just
part in
quickly
time.
introduce one of our panelists here, Eleojo Okolo,
Share the live
who
and people.
has also volunteered to join us. Ele, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having me here.
you.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, your voice is very clear. Nice to hear your voice.
Okay. Thank you.
Okolo
I'm trying to
has
share.
also volunteered to join. Yeah, so Ele, do you think this topic is relevant? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very, very relevant, especially in a time as this. As a woman, it is something that is of great concern to many women out. So it's a crucial topic.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, so while we wait for others, we have to cover today. So let's start with what we will consider of a promiscuous lifestyle, such that it will fit the topic that we are discussing. So we feel that a promiscuous lifestyle in this case has to do with some is in multiple sexual partners without any form of commitment to any of them, and that is basically our definition. It has so many definitions, but we trying to concentrate more on people who involve in casual sex. The person needs separate people. So this is where we are concentrating our efforts on. We know there might be various definitions depending on involved, depending on religious and moral inclinations. We can have various definitions. But as a broad discussion, we're just narrowing it down to people who engage in casual sex. Um, in case you have any op- any op- let's briefly talk about what factors influence people to adopt a promiscuous lifestyle.
Come again with your topic, with your question. Your question
So the
again.
question is, what is people to adopt a program?
Oh, okay. Um, so, like you defined in the when you were talking about um, who is a promiscuous person, or what promiscuity is, that it is someone who has multiple sexual partners. So there are factors that can influence why people decide to have multiple sexual partners, and some reasons could one of the reasons could be number one, for fun. Some see it as that they are having fun, and so indulge um, in having multiple sexual partners. Some can have multiple sexual partners because of poverty. Poverty can also be a reason why someone could decide to have multiple sexual partner. You are committed in this relationship already, and but because of poverty, especially, this factor is can be we can adduce it especially to African developing nations where people sell their body because of money. So poverty could be a reason why some people indulge in or have multiple sexual partner. Um, Other reasons could even be religion. Yeah, we can say religion. We can see religion in the positive side. That yes, religion supposedly supposed to curtail that kind of ideology, right? If I am a religious person, I should, quote and unquote, live to the to the to the doctrine or to the belief of my religion. So, but in the other way around, if I am irreligious, if there's any word like that, if I'm not religious, I cannot decide that there's nothing that is holding me. There's nothing that is keeping my conduct in check. There's nothing that is keeping my conduct in check. If we are not talking, I think it's best for us to just mute so that I will not be having feedback. So, like I said, if you are not religious, you could decide that there's nothing keeping me in check. So I am not bound to anything. You can see it as there is no big deal. So um, that could also be a factor why some people practice or have multiple sexual partners. The list go on and on. I don't know if Eli would like to add one or two things to that.
Yeah, I agree with the reasons that you have brought forth as part of the underlying factors. I was also trying to do some studies on my own lately too. Like, I knew I was going to be on this life. Sometimes, again, another reason for promiscuity could be a response to trauma, either childhood trauma or even in adulthood, maybe as a result of grief.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
That
Go ahead.
to an extent, I think it is part
Okay.
the effect of trauma can make some people to become promiscuous.
Okay.
They don't really like what
Um.
they're doing, but maybe they are responding to grief, to loss, to rejections, and they are just on the spree. It is not an excuse to, but people are in that situation.
Okay. Fantastic. Um. As you were just speaking, something came to my mind now. Yes, that's a factor that can also influence promiscuity. Another
For
factor
promiscuity.
that would also that can also influence promiscuity is the social media.
For partners. You can go ahead, Dr. Tommy. Dr. Tommy, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if Dr. Tommy can hear me. Dr. Tommy, can you hear her? Okay, so I heard you. Ili, can you hear me? Ili, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ili?
Hear you now. I can
Okay,
hear you now.
thank okay, thank you. That's one of the things that we face in live shows like this. This is not a post production, so we'll be having this hiccup now and then. The network is never our friend, but nevertheless, we just keep going on and believing that our audience understands that this is no fault of ours. Okay, just to add, I thought you were done. So to add to your to the factors that influences promiscuity, I was saying that the social media is also a big factor. It plays a big role as to why many people have multiple sexual partners. So what people see on the social media, what they consume on social media, shaping their perspective and define how they behave um, afterwards. You know, there are many videos you see. There are many video you will see on social media that will change your narrative about a particular topic. So if you are not very strong enough, the social media is a major influence to promiscuity. Dr. Tumi, over to you. Can you hear us now? Welcome on board, Dr. Dan.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Just because of the way it works, it tends to go nuts when many people are talking at the same time. So what I will ask our partners is to please mute yourself when you're not talking. It helps. Um, if I mute from my side, it becomes more complex because you may want to talk and I will forget that you are muted. So I have introduced Neil, I've introduced Ojo, and we also have another guest here who will make a second lady for the panel, Christiana Ojo. She's here with us around. Um, we hope to tap from your wealth of knowledge and experience as a practicing nurse in Nigeria. My network is acting up, so please be patient with me. Okay, so very important points that were raised about factors that contribute. And for me, I would just want to add another thing. I like to always add ignorance. So, because I believe if people are more aware, they would therefore not know better. So, I would just want to add ignorance to the list of factors that influences this kind of lifestyle. I will go to the next question. Please confirm that you are still hearing me. Someone confirm that you are hearing me.
Yes, yes,
Can
yes.
we
I
just hear
am.
your
I'm here.
voice?
I can hear you.
Yeah, can we hear
Christiana,
from Christiana just because
if
she's
it's possible for us to see you on video too. Christiana seems not to be here. She's here physically, but maybe network has yanked her off. Can you go ahead, please?
so unfortunate. This time that we selected happens to be a peak period of internet activities. So I noticed that even most times networks tend to act up at this time of the day. So anytime you're able to join us and speak, just let me know. Then this going to would you consider someone who is maybe in a serious relationship or married but involved himself in a kind of extramarital affair or something like that? Will you consider that as I especially want to hear from Eli or Joe to hear what she thinks.
Hello, Eliojo. Are you still here? Can you still hear us? Eliojo, can you hear us? Eliojo, can you hear us? Oh, can Eliojo hear us? Tommy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So Eliojo's network is frozen. Tonight's network is a mess. Tonight's network is a mess. So, Christiana, you're back on call. Can you hear us? Unmute yourself and talk to the, talk to us.
Go ahead. I think my idea is I will advise how to log out and reconnect. She's not
Okay.
having an audio option there.
I
So
can't even
just go
see her
ahead.
on. I can't even see her. Okay, so where are we? The last question was what we if we consider those in serious relationship who get involved in rephrase. Can you rephrase the question again?
Guys, what is your opinion about serious relationship but engages in affair or something like that? Would that automatically um, qualify this person to be categorized as promiscuous based on our definition this night?
Well, you had in the definition, um, you had said that promiscuity is having multiple sexual partners. So does that means that's that word alone itself he's yanked off to. Okay. While they come on board, while I wait on this live, for us to engage ourselves in this conversation, there's a video that trended sometimes ago, that talked about something that we may want to listen to, that relates to the topic we are dealing with. Before we start talking about the health implication of promiscuity, I'm just going to play that video and ask us if for us to tell us what we feel or what we think about the video. We can type what we feel about the video on the comment section. So the next screen you'll be seeing now is a video that will be playing. So Dr. Tumi, while you were off,
Jazzy talk say the girl wey him go fit, correct me if I'm wrong. Say the girl wey him go fit dey with. Na girl when he be say go understand say him dey cheat, and na girl when he be say go also cheat oh, because he fit carry the girl go drop maid and wipe the girl. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is what it is. Say, rewind.
No, make him talk. I'm not.
Yeah, let's
going
go.
You know, the truth of the matter is that, you know, when people talk about this whole being in a relationship thing and all men are cheats and stuff like
trash.
that, or all men are scum or whatever, I understand where they're coming from because I know guys. I know them. So I understand where they're coming from because I know a bunch of people that do that. So my where I have a problem now is that like if I have discussions, then the girls will now be like, two can play the game, this one, blah blah, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, fine. If the guy is gonna do that, like so somebody like me now, so now I haven't been able to process the fact that if I like this person and I'm with this person, every other person should go to hell.
Wow.
Yeah, like I don't know how people get to that point where when you see somebody, then the thing that makes you like people, then you put it off or whatever. I still like as I see you so now.
Amen.
Let me
Amen, God.
let me even actually not even give you one practical example. You actually find babe.
No,
Listen, we dey talk for Instagram, something, and whatever. I know I lean forward, she know I lean forward, or whatever. But we're just nice people, we talk and stuff like that. But when I met at one event, I think it was at this event.
Yeah.
CK's event, sad romance, something. She fine, but she can't carry one other fine girl come. I was not confused. So at this junction now, I was not like, since me and this girl, nobody really talk about just something like, should I go ask her whether you go introduce me to this one? Or you don't understand?
Oh my God. Guys actually do that.
I don't understand.
They will
So
tough you.
I don't just go for that one. So it is possible that you like somebody, you do like the person, but then another person come, then since I showered in my eye, then you now start looking at all those ones. Now, I use myself to judge other people. Well, in this, what I think, if by any means I should be allowed or what to do to others, what you want them to do. If by any standards I can do that to somebody else, I don't mind if they do it to me. Stephanie,
Excellent. I like that. Excellent. That
Yeah. So we just watched that video that if you're on live with us, you can drop your comment and tell us what you feel. Let us know your reaction about that video. To me, I was the only one on this call. Seems network yanked everybody off, so I had to just talk with the people online and play a certain video to make them understand where we are coming from. So any comments? I'm sure you must have seen that video that you watched the last part of that video. What comment do you have, Dr. Tunu?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know where I'm speaking from anymore. Okay, so that video was it just came at the right time, just close to our discussion, and it really highlights why this discussion is taking place. Um, you have to appreciate um, you have to appreciate Don Jazzy for saying it as it is. So it's very few people that will be that blunt. So it's not about trying to talk bad about him. No, what he said is a general thing that happens, and a lot of people believe in it. Just very few people will accept to say the way he said it. So his point is that he doesn't see the need for um, selecting somebody and saying this is who I want to stay with. He doesn't see commitment as something he can do at this time in his life. And so what it means is that he is willing to play the game with whoever is available and whoever he likes. That is fine. That is his lifestyle. And
You could see in the studio there a lot of the guests, especially the ladies, seem to be saying, "You are on the same, you're on the same pedestal with me. We are reasoning together." So you couldn't even see anybody like saying, "Ah, this person," but it looked normal. But that is actually a reflection of the society we live in. We can just take it from there. However, what I find has changed in the last few years, I might be wrong, but from my own experience, is that there has been a reduced emphasis on the side effects of promiscuity. In those days, in the form of radio presentations, in the form of dramas, there used to be, even in the form of adverts, there used to be a lot of orientation about why we should not be promiscuous. In fact, I used to remember some adverts that would talk about zip up if you're not ready um, to be committed and all that. But I don't think I see all those things anymore. So I think there's been a great shift from orienting people properly in that aspect. But rather, what we now see is where people promote a lifestyle where you are free to do whatever you like. It doesn't matter. It's fine, but it's just that there are gullible people out there who might not understand or remember the side effect of this thing. So one of the things is that some of these people that engage in these lifestyles might be very careful. They might use a condom every time. They might, you know, even do tests regularly for themselves and their partners. Some of these people. But when they come out there, they just say it like, "Oh, I meet anybody, we have it, it's not a big deal." And then gullible people out there just think that is okay and fall into trouble. So that's what I think about that video.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tumi. Unfortunately, the network yanked you off earlier, John. So we're just reacting to a video that came surfaced online, um, where the Jazzy was being asked a question and uh, was he was making a statement about not being the type of person that is ready to that his type of nature, his type of person is the type of person that um, he believes in open relationship, you know. And so we have to play that video because whether we like it or not, there are many people that will see that video and will feel that because of his personality, that's just the right thing to do. The kind of preventions he puts in place and all that might not be the same thing from these people that views that interview, you know. So that's why that was the essence of that video. Okay, so let's go deeper, Dr. Tumi. I think because of the network, we might need to just go ahead for those of us that are here. Um, so we have done introduction. Can you just bring us up to speed about understanding STDs, sexual transmitted diseases, and the most common STDs and their primary methods of transmission? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Mute yourself. You are speaking, but you're
Sorry, I'm on mute now. So just to remind the new entrants that are coming in that to the panel, that please remember to mute yourself when you're not talking. Just it helps to improve quality of the videos. Okay. Um, I hope Christiana is here, but unfortunately, our audio is not. I don't know what's wrong with our audio. I would really have loved to hear her from a nursing perspective. She's a nurse, and unfortunately, we can't get her in yet. And meanwhile, Dan will join us, a gynecologist, and will hear what he has to say. From my own point of view, sexually transmitted diseases are any kind of disease that can be spread via intercourse. So, intercourse in this case is not only through the one we know, but even through anal, through oral kind of intercourse. Some of these diseases um, do not only spread by sexual transmission, but once they spread through sex, then we call them STDs. An example is HIV, which is very popular. It can be spread by sex. Sex is one of the commonest ways in which it can be spread. But we also know it can be spread through vertical transmission from mother death. It can also be spread through blood transfusion and others. But the fact that it can be spread through sex makes it an STI. That as well as other sexual. So I'll just speak about some of them. Um, but for most of these sexually transmitted infections, they can be prevented usually by adequate protection, and standard protection we know of is use of condoms. So I'll just briefly go through some of the sexually transmitted infections. There are many, but there are some that are quite relevant that I would like to highlight. So we'll start with gonorrhea. So gonorrhea still remains a very relevant um, sexually transmitted infection. It's quite common, but um, the main problem with gonorrhea is in terms of the symptoms. So in men, it tends to present early because the symptoms can be quite very catastrophic and stressful. So they will tend to present quite early, which they come in the form of urethral discharge, that is penile discharge, and very difficult urination. So, but the main problem with it is that in women, they can be asymptomatic. So they might not even know that they have it. And so what this does is that they can then become a source of reinfection because if you don't know, you won't treat. Meanwhile, we'll talk about the damage that these infections cause later, but for now, we're just talking generally. Then we have another one, which is also quite popular, which is syphilis. Um, the incidence of syphilis has really reduced compared to before, mainly because of awareness and also good antibiotic treatment, which have helped. But it still remains a very relevant um, sexually transmitted infection to discuss about because um, when left untreated, it can cause a lot of problems, especially neuropsychiatric problems as they grow older. So it might be something you have been exposed to many years ago, but in future you could actually develop a lot of neurologic problems from syphilis. So it's quite relevant. And there are others. I will just briefly mention them just for whoever wants to read about them. We have chlamydia. Then the very popular human immunodeficiency virus. I'll briefly talk about that. It's a special virus because it's able to um, go into the human DNA and use the DNA to replicate itself. So this makes it quite very difficult to treat. How it works is that it can come into the body through different routes, but through sex it can also come into the body. When it gets into the body, it goes to the lymph nodes, which are the kind, how would I call it now? It's like the part of the body that houses the cells that helps us fight diseases. So these lymph nodes, it stays there, replicates, becomes stronger, and continues to produce itself and then spread. The thing about it is that it remains asymptomatic for quite some time. So it can even take up to 10 years before it will begin to show, depending on people's immunity and also age. So during that period of when it's asymptomatic, they then become carriers who can spread the disease. And how do most people spread the disease? Somebody said, why is none of us smiling? Network is not making us smile. The network is kicking out people that need to be here. But hopefully you will see us smile before the end of the day. so so during this period of silence, it's a period when people can spread the disease. The good news about HIV now is that it's no longer a death sentence as it used to be, but because there is now um, drugs, medications that can be used to control the disease. And I personally have seen people that have lived many, many, many years, even into old age with this disease. But it's not something we want to have if we can prevent. It's not something we want to have. So um, that's another disease that we need to remind ourselves about. We've promised ourselves to try not to be academic, so we don't want to go in depth to because our audience is mainly people who just have a basic knowledge, and so that our aim is not to lecture, but just to remind us about um, the various sexually transmitted diseases that can come through sex. So I've mentioned the major ones. There are so many others, and we'll leave those ones for another day. Hopefully, once we have um, Daniel able to join us and Nurse Christiana, then um, we will have them to talk more about this. So let me stop there.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thanks for laying the foundation from the medical aspect. Elijah, please confirm that you can hear us. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Unmute your.
Tunde Gold.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. Um, before
I'm
we continue with
unmuted.
the Fantastic. Before we continue with health, the health aspect of this topic, let me just ask this question to Eliojo. Would you consider someone that is already in a relationship, who is, for one reason or the other, having another sexual partner because we have discussed, um, or we had started by defining promiscuity as having multiple sexual partner. So, would you consider someone having what they call side chick, for instance, or someone that is unfaithful as being promiscuous? What's your take on that?
Yes, I've been promiscuous. Anything other than a single partner is promiscuity. Once you have more than sexual
Okay,
partner, yes, either
okay.
as a man or as a woman.
Welcome on the live. Fantastic. Welcome on the live, Dr. Dan. Please confirm that you can hear me. Dr. Dan, can you hear me? This network is not making us enjoy this flow. Okay, Dr. Dan again is out of the live again. So, we just continue again. Dr.
Um,
Dan is
I I I will try to connect Dan and others through a WhatsApp call. I think maybe the this particular app, the maybe the requirement is quite high in terms of network. So I will send them a WhatsApp link, hopefully, that they can use to join us. Okay, but let's just continue.
the question is now coming back to you, Dr. To me. I don't know. As you are trying to sort that, can you answer questions?
Yeah, yeah, you can bring it on.
Okay. Innocent, Innocent is on board. Innocent, please confirm that you can hear us now. Innocent, can you hear us?
You are muted, Innocent. So unmute yourself.
Innocent, can you hear us? Okay, maybe his network is still okay. So, okay, Dr. Tomi, what are the sorry, what are the can you help us um, tell us the health implications of untreated STDs?
Okay. Um, while I say that, I will just say we really need to get down on course on online. Okay. What are the health implications? So
We need to
I will
take what?
start with mostly, I will concentrate mostly on the sexual health because STDs are a wide
You guys
lot.
are it's breaking so bad. It's breaking so bad.
Innocent, please
I don't
mute.
know if the experience of viewers are like this. If it is, then nobody is really benefiting anything from this.
Okay. I thought I heard Innocent talking.
The
So
network
anyway,
is quite okay.
like I was saying, there are
The network is quite
many
high.
health implications. So it's quite wide. but I will prefer to concentrate on the sexual health and also the, maybe the basics. So for some of these diseases, for example, chlamydia infection, gonorrhea infection, they can affect sexual health. In what way? So, especially for women, they could suffer from serious infections with discharge and all that, and which, if not properly treated, can result in blocked tubes, um, which has been a problem for some, resulting in a form of infertility. But I must educate people that blocked tube is not complete uh, definition of infertility, meaning that once you have it, that means you can't have children. Due to technologies these days, people can have children from other means as long as the eggs are there. So, but you agree with me that a lot of people have suffered infertility from this. Um, then for the men, it can also result in problems with their semen production, with some people becoming having low sperm count due to such kind of infections that have affected their seminal fluids production. So this kind of problem can result in many other problems. For example, for a woman who has blocked tubes, they are more predisposed to ectopic pregnancy. So they might get pregnant, but the baby is in a wrong location. The list is endless. But I'll just be picking very important points that people can easily remember. And then, what about other problems that can come in? Mental health. If you have a partner who you take seriously and the partner finds out that you are living this kind of lifestyle, then you could have issues in your relationship. It can result in broken relationships, which can also result in other mental issues. So you see that it can come in different ways. Then if we now talk of something like syphilis, which I mentioned before, when untreated, it has various stages, and the very last stages can lead to serious neurological and brain damage. So where somebody can actually become very useless. So it's that bad. The good thing, like I keep saying, is that it's very easy to treat now with the right antibiotics. And then we come to the grandfather of all of them, and people would like to call it HIV. So the issue with HIV is that it breaks down our natural immune system. So God has created us in such a way that our body is able to fight diseases every minute and every second. The body is fighting through your skin, through your mucous membranes, and all that. But what HIV has done is that it's able to get to those cells that helps us to fight diseases and weaken them. So just imagine in those days when villages used to fight each other, and then you are able to destroy or kill all or weaken all the men in a particular village. Then that means it's easy to enter and do whatever you want to do. So that's what HIV does. It breaks down our ability to fight diseases. And so any kind of disease can just walk in and overtake us at the point where we get what is called AIDS. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into depth of all the various diseases because I don't think that is the aim of this program. It's just to remind us that this kind of lifestyle increases the risk of having these kind of infections, and these kind of infections have issues that they can cause. The most important is of which I have highlighted.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tumi. As much as this topic could have been a very, very interesting one, and we have tried to bring up professionals to speak on this topic. The network has not been very friendly. I would just so that we we are still able to leverage on the wealth of experience of the other two professionals. That is the nurse Christiana and Dr. Daniel. I'll just indulge Dr. Tumi to say try one more time using the WhatsApp call you wanted to do. So even if we can hear their voice, for us to see get something tangible. But in the meanwhile, because time is we have spent about more than an hour now on this call, so we just need to hear some certain areas of that need their expertise. So while you do that, Dr. Tumi, I'll just engage Iliojo for the next question. Um, Innocent, please confirm that you can hear us and you are on this call. You can unmute yourself for us to hear you. If you are on this call,
Yeah, I can hear you. It's getting better now.
okay. So
It's
we just
getting
have
worse.
to manage.
It's been breaking so bad, and I was not even hearing you guys at least for the first 40 minutes of this discussion. So I was wondering if the audience is also like this.
Okay.
I think it's much stable now. We can go on.
Okay, so unmute yourself. I mean, mute yourself now. So the next question I'm going to be asking now will be for Iliojo and subsequent one to Innocent. Um,
I was not even hearing you guys.
Iliojo, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Also like this. Yeah, sure. I can hear you. I can hear you now. Very good.
I mean, Iliojo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear me.
Okay, so please, can you tell us? Yes, I
can hear
can.
you.
Can you, Iliojo, can you tell us the impact of technology on sexual health? The impact of technology on sexual health awareness. Can you speak on that for us?
Yeah, technology has, for me, has kind of negatively impacted on sexual health awareness because a lot of false informations are out there, and technology has kind of given a lot of freedom to do a lot of things. And if not properly curbed, we might be launching into a generation of sodomic era. That is what I feel. Technology, as good as it is, if not properly used, it's not really helping to get dish out things that are healthy there. Just like the video we watched earlier. Dr. Tony already told us that that kind of lifestyle, it's a promiscuous life and spread in that there are many gullible people out there that will buy into that way of life. After all, this my role model does it, so freestyling. So the information that technology wants to spread, not properly managed, will not really help in curbing the damage that this STDs. And this evening, I've heard some new about the negative impact of on STD. That's my take. You can go ahead, Tunde.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. The network was breaking you at some point. Thank you very much. We can overemphasize the role of technology in this discussion. And I like the fact that you reiterated again that if, because there are many people that are so gullible that they will just see that their role models is validating. Yes, I can. Are you playing at the background as if you're playing your video? I mean, this live on social media
Can Innocent at least mute when he's not talking? It's really causing kickback.
is muted.
Yeah. I'm hearing some sounds. It's like causing a kickback sort of. I'll mute now.
Okay, so no, to Innocent. Innocent is muted, but not to you, Innocent. Please, can you corroborate on what Elijah has spoken? What are the roles of social media on this topic? What role do you think social media play? What has it contributed to either the spread or prevention of STD?
I don't know if we played the video. Have we?
Yes, we have. We have played the video.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We've played the video, right? Because I wasn't really around all the time. All right. So if you can hear me, I'll just put in my little contribution using that video as an example. That video of an interview that was done in a podcast with Don Jazzy. We know who Don Jazzy is, a very influential person. And when people look up to you as a model, you can really influence them a lot, their actions and all that. Now, this is just an example that's trending. That's why we're using it. There has been people like that, people who are highly influential, who have a lot of fans, and they make some decisions that may seem as if that's how life should be. Or the problem is that these people, they do not take time to create something like or make people understand, okay, this is when we are doing this thing, this is what we are doing intentionally, and we are also doing something intentionally to protect ourselves. Okay, you come up online and you say, okay, you can be promiscuous if you want. You sleep with multiple partners, sex partners. You can do that if you want, but you're not talking about how are you protecting yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? in order for you to avoid contracting diseases, which is obviously out there or undeniably out there. So that's the effects of social media. It makes it possible for you to pass information out there to a very large audience in a very short time and with very little input into the process of passing this information. So if you're passing information, it shouldn't be one-sided. But that's what we see today. And so people go out and imitate what these people are saying or what their role models are prescribing. And that's why we have the prevalence of STDs and so many other things. But another painful part is that unlike those days where we have the media talking about it, creating awareness, you have even the government or even foreign agencies and investing into this aspect of information, trying to push this information out to the public and make them understand, okay, this is what you can do to protect yourself. This is what you know. These days, we don't see things like that. We don't see it. There is no education, as to that regard. So I think for that reason, people are just bound to glean education from where they have it, which is the social media, which is not in any way sensitized. Yeah, so I think that's the contribution social media has made so far.
Thank you very much, Innocent, for that contribution. So, back to please mute yourself, Innocent. Dr. Tumi, are you in connection with the two professionals, medical professionals, Dr. Dan and Christiana, as we are about getting close to the end of this show? Can you engage them in further questions? We still have questions that relate to toilet diseases in regards to STIs. Please engage them if you are with them now. I can see your screen. Unmute yourself, Dr. Tumi, and speak.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for Dan to join again. It was on the WhatsApp call.
Okay.
He said it's
So
fine. I don't know what's happening. Even WhatsApp call is giving
his
even
network is
WhatsApp
not
call
good.
is
Yeah, if your network is not good, even your WhatsApp calls will be shit. If Christiana is on call, is he on the WhatsApp? She can respond to that. We have some major questions that relates to the health area now. The what is toilet infection and does it always reflect an STI? And for us to also discuss um, the treatments, options of treatment for STIs. So those two questions before we wrap up this live. The network has not made it very interesting for us. And if you want to come in their stead, no problem.
okay. Looks like I have no option than to still go ahead to talk on their behalf. And I think this time of the day is always very bad with network. And it's quite unfortunate. But it's fine. Anytime they are able to log in, we'll continue. We'll just hear what they have to say. Concerning this question, I think it's a very important question because I personally have seen couples who accuse each other because they claim that um, one of them got a toilet infection or something like that. And so it might be a good opportunity to address this. Um, so what's toilet infection? It's a colloquial term. Oh, it's like Daniel is here now. Let me try. Daniel, can you hear me? Can you talk again? I think I've removed the earpiece. Can you talk again now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So we you came at the right time. I will just repeat the question I'm trying to answer, which is so the question is um what sorry, Tunde, can you repeat the question again? Can you repeat the question again,
Yes,
please?
What is toilet infection? What is toilet infection, and does it always reflect STI? Does it always reflect a
Okay.
STI?
So the question is what is toilet infection and does it always reflect an STI?
Okay, I think if I hear you clearly, you're asking if toilet infections always reflect STIs, that's sexually transmitted infections.
Yes.
Now, toilet infections, erroneously, people feel sexual toilet infections are infections you get from toilet or from using dirty places. Now, this is not true. Now, what people call toilet infection is actually something like vulvovaginitis, which results from like a change in like hormonal changes in the woman or changes in the normal bacterial organism that are supposed to be in the vagina. Now, I said normal because the vagina hosts a lot of bacteria that stays there, and they prevent other infections from coming in. And so, for any reason, there is a change in this bacteria due to hormonal changes, one, or the use of non-judicious use of antibiotics, or even procedures like belching. Now, all of these things can cause a reduction, let me use the word, a reduction in the immunity in the vagina, and then result into what? Some of these infections. So it's not basically something you say, I use the toilet, and then I have an infection. So now, why would not say they are sexually transmitted diseases? Because some women have not even had sex, but they have this kind of infection with itchy vaginal discharge, looking at like other forms of sexually transmitted diseases, right? So what we say now is it's not the same thing. It is not gotten from the use of toilet. It's basically due to sometimes a reduction in the immunity in the bacterial flora in the vagina. Now, but the treatment is basically what the same. The use of appropriate antibiotics, and the form of prevention will be don't don't use antibiotics indiscriminately. And then you discover that people who say they have toilet infection tend to retreat, continue to treat, and even yeast infection can also be termed toilet infection because it comes around with some recurrence. Thank you.
Thank
Fantastic.
you very much, Dan. I think this clarification is very good because imagine someone whose wife has that, or the woman will begin to say, you should say this man never go play away match. It has caused a lot of problems, so it's good to clarify. Like he has said, just to reiterate. So most of what we call toilet infection is most times when we have poor understanding of appropriate vaginal hygiene. So vaginal hygiene is not about douching, especially where women just go and use chemicals or soap to wash their body, trying to thinking that they are doing good, but rather, like Dana said, when you kill the natural protective bacteria then you have given a leeway for the very bad bacteria to then come in, which can then cause all those infections and all those problems that we have. It's a good opportunity to have just clarified this. I don't know if you're happy with that, Tunde, or you want more.
No, that's fine. But he spoke from the angle of the woman. What about the man?
Sorry. Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, so Dan, I will just repeat what Tunde said. So he said your point was made from the angle of a woman. What about the man?
Okay. Now, I've hardly seen, if any, toilet, and then now he has an infection. For men, if a man has those symptoms, which include pain in urinating or discharge from the urethra, from the penis, it is nearly always what? Sexually, understand? We encourage men to clean the tip of their penis after urinating or urinate immediately after sex. But I've hardly had a man say he had a toilet infection from urinating somewhere. Then he says he's got some discharge and all of that. No, I wouldn't want to say that. I would say for any man who has such symptoms, it's most likely contracted from the sexual act. It may not be vaginal sex, it may also be oral sex. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I've handed it back to you, Tunde.
Okay, so the second question was also you were supposed to answer the second question. Maybe you could just push that to Dr. Dan now that his network is cooperating with us. And that question was that what are the health implications of untreated STDs?
So Dan, this is a question that we want to hear your opinion. Remember that if you have network issues, you always have the option of switching off your camera to improve your network. So the question is, what are the health implications of STDs
And the treatment options that that we have.
options? So what are the health implications of STDs and the treatment options that we have? I have tried to answer it briefly, but we would like to hear your own opinion.
Okay, the health implications of STDs, STI, sexually transmitted infections, are many and far-reaching. It could be acute, occurring immediately, and it could be chronic after staying a very long time to see the effects. It affects men and affects women equally. Now, for the woman, sexually transmitted infections, just like we see the symptoms and we want to treat them, that alone is a problem. Now, I know we have talked about several examples. Now, these infections can accept to affect the womb and the fallopian tubes, resulting in so many problems. One, it can cause endometritis, it can cause the tubes can be infected, the ovaries can be infected and affected. They can form pus-like things and heal and cause blockage in the uterus. It can cause, in the long run, infertility. So that is one of the most feared health implications of sexually transmitted diseases, infertility in the woman. Now, it can cause abscesses, PID, and all of that from an ascending infection. Now, for the man, it can cause what we call a blockage in the urethra, the urinating place. It can have multiple blockage. Usually, the common trauma can cause that. But for infection, it can cause such blockage, and the man begins to have urinary retention. Now, these are some of the infections we know. But then let's talk about STDs plus HIV. So we'll talk about HIV. That is, it gives it another angle entirely. We've known about all the stages of HIV, 1, 2, 3, 4, the end stages, and in as much as so much has been done about HIV worldwide, we still have it as a major problem. It's still a pandemic worldwide. So the health implications could also mean transmission of HIV from mother to child. You understand? And then now we have monkeypox, some places in Nigeria, and it's been said that those who have HIV/AIDS are the higher risk of having monkeypox. So HIV/AIDS can reduce one's immunity and then predispose them to other infections, which naturally they shouldn't have caused infections. They were not meant to come down. Thank you.
Thank you
The
so much,
treatment.
Dan.
The
You said it
treatment.
better than I did. Just a brief one. It's like his network is playing up again. Dan, are you hearing me? Just let me know if you're hearing me. Like your network is playing
I hope
around.
you heard me clearly, sir. Or at least
Yes, it was
connection.
clear. It was very clear. We heard you. Just towards the end, the network began to play a bit. Do you want to switch off your camera so we can hear you talk about the treatment? Although I think you briefly talked about it, but if you can just give a brief one about treatment.
Okay. For treatment for STDs, STIs, HIV, it depends on the environment you are. In Nigeria, usually we do what we call syndromic management in most places because culture may yield something, may not yield anything. But when there are symptoms, like we have said, discharge, pain, itch, and all of that, we no abdominal pain. We may just want to go ahead and treat. Now, if it's a bacterial infection, we want to treat with antibiotics. I wouldn't want to come here and mention specific things on drugs, but then it will be good that you go to your doctor, the GP, your gynecologist, who would treat based on the prevalent bacteria in that environment. Now, for infections that come with what we call toilet infection or candidiasis, we can use just some instant antifungal insert and to take care of it. Now, when we talk about other diseases like we mentioned HIV/AIDS, when I talk about HIV/AIDS, I really want people to know there's no need for anyone to die of HIV. Why? Drugs are available, they are relatively free, with the environment, they are free. So, what would counsel is for people to treat this infection.
We started speaking around 7:34. Then keep it on.
Some of these treatments may take up to a week, some may take up to 10 days, some may require admission to the hospital. And for diseases like HIV, is treatment for life. So we counsel that all of these should be taken into consideration when one is treating for STIs or HIV. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dan. We really appreciate.
Okay.
If there are any
From
questions for
your
you, I
end-
will let you know.
Okay, that would be all for Dan for now because we have taken so much time. And while we wrap up, in conclusion, I'll just ask Dr. Tumi to tell us in brief the relationship between sexual health and mental well-being.
Okay. So the relationship between sexual health and mental well-being. So basically just summarizes all what we've been talking about. If health is wealth. Like they say, no matter how rich you are, when you are unhealthy, you won't even enjoy your money. So when we have any of these issues, especially when they are preventable, it will definitely affect our mental health. We will be unhappy. Some people go into depression in trying to deal with things like this. So in summary, the joy that you seem to have years ago, when you start suffering the um, consequences, you no longer value that joy. You think you wish that you had made a better decision. So, when we talk of mental health is varied, but in things like this, the main problem would have to do with your state of health mentally, and it usually will be more related to being unhappy due to your situation and depression. So to me, that's just a summary of the mental health implication of this. Then from the other aspect, in terms of your spouse and the fact that you begin to have issues with your spouse, which can be avoided, this will definitely also affect your mental health and that of your partner. So that's where I would like to come from. I would want to think if Elio will want to contribute to this.
Yeah, Elliot, your final word from you on all our discussions. Any areas that you want to chip in? Unmute yourself if you're mute. Okay. Elliot, you have the floor, please.
Yeah,
Okay,
my final for everyone watching. Just can you hear me now?
go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, is just like Dr. Tony said, when promiscuity has a far-reaching impact on both partners, and whether we like it or not, it definitely affects our mental health. And when you are not mentally sound, it's as good as you are also not sound overall. So as much as we can, let's try to stay faithful in a relationship. It will help us a long way. The peace of mind you get when you know that you're faithful and your partner is faithful is it can't be a good state of mind to be. Unfortunately, it's eroding this generation. And like he said in the course discussion, ignorance is what is a major thing that has pushed people into that kind of lifestyle. And as we continue to enlighten people and let them know that there is actually a far more reaching benefit of not being promiscuous over promiscuity, maybe then we'll be able to redirect our path back to the right way. We are not judging, we are just informing us. Thank you. That's
Okay, final word from Innocent too. Innocent, if you can hear us. Seems Innocent cannot hear us. Right now, we are just towards the end of our live show. On the screen, you can see all our social media handle. Please scrolling right now. We enjoy you to join us. To subscribe on all our channels. Follow us on um, at Great Minds Inspiration, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and Twitter. The Twitter is
Yeah.
great in capital letter G. I mean, in figure. The figure 8 is. I hear feedback. Sorry. So just join us on all our social media and scrolled on your screen right now, and we'll be coming back next week with say it's a. We apologize that this network messed us up today. Next week will be a better show for all of
Thank
us,
you.
hopefully. Thank you very much,
Is that me?
every one of us.
Thank you so much.
So we see you next week.
Everyone have a good day. See you next week. Bye.